So here's the situation. A few years ago, a group of us went out to film a project. Ashley was performing a routine, my pre-show for the video we was about to film. I'm sat there behind the camera filming this routine. Fast forward 2 years later, and that piece of pre-show performance that Ashley was doing got aired on international television, and he got a crap ton of viewership, airtime internationally, and it was a piece of pre-show. Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Successful Mentalist podcast. It's a little Just the Tip midweek episode. My name is Aidan O'Sullivan, and I'm joined by none other than the man that filmed or performed my pre-show and somehow got on international television, Ashley Green. Ashley, what the heck happened? This story is just so bizarre.
It's bizarre and also funny that the main routine which was filmed didn't get anywhere close to telly, Aidan. Yeah, my bit did. So, unlucky! Moving on. Yeah, so look, here's the thing. We went over and when we film absolutely anything. Back in the day when we was going out, we was vlogging, we was doing the pre-show, we was doing the performance pieces. Everything we were doing that day was being filmed. I went up to these group of people and I was performing a routine. I wasn't doing anything like, quickly scribble this down on a piece of paper. The guy about to perform is going to do something with it. No, I was making it like an actual performance. So just to squash the thing of anyone thinking right now, oh, your pre-show got on telly, what? All the methods and the reveals? That got on telly? Is that anything to be proud of? No. My pre-show was an actual good, solid presentation that got on telly. I went over and I was performing to them, and then after that, obviously, Aidan went on and started performing his thing. It was all captured on telly. I took that, uploaded it to YouTube, and it just got found a few years later by a TV producer, and that's the thing that got aired. And this is a really important thing. Yes, it's important to film your pre-show because of all the feedback stuff, which I'm sure Aidan's going to mention later on this episode, because he's an absolute dab hand when it comes to feedback. Done some great work with that. But also the one thing I want to point out, pre-show, it shouldn't just be a method for the effect that's about to come. It should be an encompassed thing of the entire performance. It should be an actual flowing performance going from one thing to the end. It shouldn't just be, hey guys, can you write down on this piece of paper because the magician coming over is about to do something? It should seem natural rather than just like this weird quirky thing that goes on behind the scenes that no one gets to see. And also as well, by doing an actual nice performance like I was doing, and filming it, it gets your audience and volunteers used to actually being on camera before the main section of camera footage happens. And because they're more comfortable on camera, they're now going to start to get used to reacting as they do in the first performance, easing those nerves. They realise it's then okay for them to react on camera, so that when Aidan's piece of footage happens, they react so much better, they're more natural, and they're more calmer. These are some of the real important things as well. And also you've got that documentation so you can review it in case there's any things that go wrong there.
And the other thing that was particularly important was actually having that two-way communication. Not only were we able to get really clear communication back to us in the sense of how are they acting? Like, we've got it all on camera, we can actually see, and then use that for feedback purposes. But we was also able to really clearly communicate back to the people being performed to how to react. And if they're doing something great, rewarding them and praising them for reacting perfectly. And not reacting, we're not going down the depths of, oh yeah, if you react really loud, I'll give you a pack of hobnobs from the local corner shop or something. That's the most English thing ever. But we're actually able to open up that feedback two ways and let them know that everything was fine. And again, ultimately, when it comes down to the actual performance piece, the piece that we was there for, we're able to make that much more worthwhile. And the useful thought process that we always go through whenever we're using pre-show is, if somebody saw this pre-show, or if we had to use this pre-show on stage, would it still be logical? Would it still flow through? Would it still make sense? And would it add to the routine rather than detract from it?
Exactly. And this is a state of mind we should get ourselves in. We should stop calling it pre-show and start calling it a pre-show performance, because you are entirely true there. And I can tell you of a corporate show that I done where there was a language barrier and the pre-show failed because we also had booze in the mix, and I also had Colin Cloud and his wife and their parents in the audience as well. So added pressure on. And when your pre-show fails in that show, you think, oh bugger. But because I planned a pre-show performance beforehand, I was able to just literally... we'll just do that in the show, because nothing really seems out of place. It's out of place for me and what I had planned. But the thing is, I'm still doing a performance in the show. So it seems natural. And that's the beauty and why people always get scared of pre-show. Oh, it could go wrong. Oh, it seems weird with your audience. No, that's because you're literally just getting someone to scribble on a piece of paper and say, hey, we'll come back to that later. And they feel like, yeah, something sneaky's gone on here. They get that vibe. But if it's a performance and then it's wrapped up, they've seen something. In their mind, they have an open end to it. They no longer have this open loop thinking, what's happened? And start overthinking this. It's like, oh, cool. They've done something with that. That's the end of the trick. They forget about it. And then when it happens in the show, it's like, whoa, what happened from there? That's pretty damn cool. And that's the thing. When you start treating it like pre-show performance, it's going to play better when you start doing it. You're going to have more performance and backup footage potentially be on telly, like I was from pre-show, because it was a good performance. And also, if you need to redo it, you can redo it in a show because you actually have a performance piece that works, that gets you that information, so you now one ahead and can do the next routine.
It's so important. And I know I've been pre-showed previously for several people's performances, and I feel incredibly uncomfortable when it's just a, hey, write this thing on here, and it is that sort of open loop level of thing of just, there's no closure to it. It wasn't a pre-show performance, it was a bit of pre-show. I feel so nervous. It's like, I know I'm going to get called up. Oh my God, I know I'm going to have to do this thing. Am I going to forget what this thing is? Does he want me to remember this piece of paper in my pocket? What? It's really bizarre. Even as a mentalist, watching another mentalist perform, it's so uncomfortable. So let alone how our audience feels. Just being able to round it off with that performance, people are going to react much nicer on stage. People are going to be much more comfortable with actually handling you and your process or whatever it is that you're getting them to do, just because you've settled their nerves by closing that loop out in the pre-show performance. Such a beautiful concept. So important.
100%. So if there's one big lesson learned from today, it is start calling it a pre-show performance. And then maybe the second lesson, always bloody film it, because there's probably going to be opportunities there to take this performance further and also review it and understand your own performance so much better as well. And for all of the new people that are listening to today's episode, if you resonate with this and you want some more advice to really transform and take your mentalism so much further so that it's highly engaging, super amazing, fits your character down to the ground and really takes your mentalism to the next level, we've put together a free ebook called 10 Tips to Improve Your Mentalism. 10 actionable, easy steps that you can use immediately to transform the way you perform your own mentalism routines, close-up or show. Aidan, if anyone's interested in this, where can they find it?
thesuccessfulmentalist.com/free. That's free as in FREE, no money, not the number 3. thesuccessfulmentalist.com/free.
Now we are. So head over to thesuccessfulmentalist.com/free to pick up your very own copy of 10 tips to improve your mentalism. But without further ado, we will see you guys next time for another episode of the Successful Mentalist podcast.